And action. Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis. It's New Comic Book Day. Well, at least it's New Comic Book Day for me. It's Friday. It's the day I get my books. So let's just check out what I got this week. Tear them out of the wrappings here. This is a singly wrapped thing. Because, of course, it's odd size because it is, the next issue of Island. Love that cover. That's a cool cover. You have to pardon me. This is issue 7. You have to pardon me with my camera technique here. Not 100% used to doing things this way yet. Sweet. Always cool to check it out. There's always cool stuff going on in it. Yeah. Going on with some stories that we've already had, I think. Started in the past. So, looking forward to that, as usual. Let's see. And then here's the rest of my comics. This big old bag of comics. Of course, some of it is trays. So let's see what we got. To tell you the truth, I don't look really close. I mean, sometimes on Twitter, people are talking about how many books they're getting, so I'll kind of look kind of count, but I don't really look that close to see what I'm getting, so I'm always curious. It's always kind of a surprise to me. Not totally, but kind of a surprise. I mean, it's not like I'm living in a cave somewhere. I'm not going to hear other people talk about stuff. Anyway, the paperbacks. This is Volume 1. Payback's a bitch. Heard awesome stuff about this from people like Mike, Sergeant America. So I'm going to check that out. Looking forward to that trade. And the other trade I picked up is Pop Gun War Gift. And man, I tell you what, all black and white, but I really, really dig the artwork in this this guy's work. I wish it was more of it was colored, like the stuff that's in Island, for instance, because that's the first place I really got to check it out. Look, there's official glasses. Just really, really cool. So yeah, I am super stoked to be checking that out. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. Anyway, that's it for trades. Myself out of this chunk of plastic, and let's see what we got as I'm spilling all over the place here. This is New Romancer issue final issue, number 6. Got shrank from 12 to 6 issues. I really haven't been enjoying it. I end up reading it, but I pain myself as I'm reading it, kind of a thing. So we'll see how it ends. Yeah, kind of disappointing because, like I said, I'm in the past big Peter Milligan fan, but right now Peter Milligan's kind of been having a hard time for me. Anyway, what else we got here? Oh, free comic books. My free comic books came. So free comic book, The Tick. Always like The Tick. So yeah, news stories about The Tick. Always game for that. Let's see. Oh, Shudder. This is issue number 21. Always a wonderfully cool book with lots of strange stuff going on in it. Our main character, Katie, is gathering an army of her family to go and defeat these individuals who have been manipulating society and basically the path that man has gone on since darn near the beginning. So super excited to get that and read that. Don't know lots of people who read it, but I think the people who do really still enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, another free comic book. This is Grant Morrison book. Avatar X, Destroyer of Darkness. Checking that out. What else we got here? Oh, another free comic book. Comic Labs. I'm kind of excited about this one because I think this is kind of a mix of lots of indie type stuff. So be checking that out. The final issue of this volume of Batman, issue number 52. Looking forward to this quite a bit because it's got Riley Rosmo doing the interior art. This weird Cthulhu Batman cover of him smiling. Don't know what that's about. Tinian written. I'm assuming it's a single issue story, so excited for that. I like Batman single issue stories quite a bit, so excited about that one. what that's going to be like. Should be pretty cool. Constantine, Hellblazer, issue 12. Not exactly sure. Well, that's a Rosmo cover. Not sure about the interior art on it, but I'm still enjoying Constantine. I think there's probably a couple more issues left of it. It runs on a little longer, I think, after the Rebirth stuff starts. So let's look for that. Final issue of Catwoman. Not a great cover, I don't think. But issue 52, this volume of Catwoman is done. And looking forward to seeing how this story ends. I kind of like this whole, history, Black Mask kind of a thing. It's been pretty cool. But no more Catwoman going into the Rebirth. At least she doesn't have her own book. So who knows when a new volume of Catwoman will come out. Been liking this one towards the end of it. So Black Panther issue number 2. Black Panther issue number 1 was pretty good. Looking forward to seeing what this is like. Looking forward to seeing what the what the story is going to be. Is there as Wakanda is kind of falling apart around Black Panther and he's being challenged. And so curious to see what that's like. See if I'll continue with that. I think I like the Black Panther character. We'll see how that all pans out as far as that goes. So Sirens issue number 5, right? Yeah, 5 of 6. Been a long time since the last issue of Sirens came out. I'm basically in this because George Perez, and I want to support George Perez. I actually quit reading the book around issue 2, I think. I plan on gathering them all together and reading them all at once. Once I have them in one big pile. It's a little tough to read at times. It is definitely more old school in the style, the way it's constructed and written, but still pretty cool because it's George Perez. The Fix, issue number 2. Issue number 1 was hilarious. Really dug it. Really like this cover too, just how big the whole, Hollywood sign there they're peeing on and stuff goes. Excited to see what that's going to be like. How they deal with Pretzel, the dog. Another free comic book. Suicide Squad issue number 1. I actually own Suicide Squad issue number 1, the actual official one. So I didn't realize that that's what this was going to be. It was going to be just a reprint of that. Otherwise, I would have gotten something else instead of that. But that's one of my free comic books. Finally, Southern Bastards is back. Issue 14. The daughter of one of the main characters from the first arc is back. Super excited to see her in it. The reveal of her at the end of that first arc was pretty amazing, and I'm excited to see what it's like when Tubbs's daughter comes to town and how she's going to deal with the elements that are there. I mean, she is fresh back from Iraq, I believe, someplace in the Middle East like that. I don't know if she's actually done with the military or if she's just on leave, but I'm really excited to see what that's going to end up being like. Really excited also just to have Southern Bastards back because it's always a brilliant tale. Here we are with Illuminati number 7. Sean Crystal's back on art, so I'm excited about that. It's one of the biggest reasons why I picked the book up. Curious to see what this story ends up being like. I know we're dealing with some of the villains that were part of the whole standoff thing, gathering them together to create a power base to take out S.H.I.E.L.D. or the heroes for torturing them like that, which probably isn't exactly what the Red Hood wanted to do. Red Hood? The Hood, not the Red Hood. The Hood. But we'll see. We'll see what that ends up being like. I'm not sure, quite honestly, how many more issues of that is left of that book. The always funny and always curious and a brilliantly illustrated pencil head. This is issue number 4. If you think things can't get worse, then you lack sufficient imagination. This is the mostly true 5-issue series about the whacked out world of comics, and it's hilarious. If you know anything about the old history of Marvel and DC and that sort of stuff, it's pretty funny. The kind of way that it's written is pretty entertaining. I'm sorry if it looks like I'm looking off sideways. It's really strange to look at this camera and where the camera's located at versus where I can see myself talking, and I want to see if I have to see myself. I'm my own audience as I'm recording, so I have a nice look at. Ninth Wave. This is issue number 6. You know, I have no idea how long Ninth Wave is going to continue to go on, but I'm still really enjoying it. About the crew from the Massive and the Capitol, and basically prior to the main Massive book run. So still some great stuff. Brian Wood, Gray Brown, and Jody Bellary on that book. Good stuff. Another free comic book is DC Superhero Girls. I wanted to check this out. I wanted to see exactly what this was like. Ready for everyone. Curious to see what the billing is. Always curious to see how they might put out books that are a little more kid-friendly. In what capacity. Issue number 2 of the House of Penance. Can't remember off the top of my head how many issues it's going to be. Tomasi, Bertram, and Dave Stewart book. Really great. I really like the first issue. It was really strange. It has to do with the Winchester House and the Winchester Widow. You know, Winchester House is a real place. The widow Winchester was a spiritualist, and when the Winchester home has all kinds of secret passages and stairways that go to nowhere, and hallways that go to nowhere, all part of some greater plan that she had in real life, and in this it actually has some power and some mysticism to it and stuff like that. So kind of a cool, kind of a weird Western-esque kind of a bend to it. So enjoying the heck out of that. Another free comic book, Moon Cop. This is from Drawn and Quarterly, way back when I could scrape together money in the college years. I used to get Drawn and Quarterly. Back then, it says, you know, so pretty sure it was Drawn Quarterly I used to get. Anyway, looks like another indie book. Curious to check it out, so I'll be checking it out. Another free comic book, Camp Midnight. Looks like fun. It's another rated E for everyone kind of a book. Always curious about that. I do have younger family members that I'd like to suggest interesting indie type comic books for them to get into besides just the Batman, Superman, Spider-Man sort of a thing. So get them hooked on comic books in general as a medium, and not just the superhero thing. That's the plan anyway. Here we have the Dark and the Bloody. This is issue number 4. Last issue, basically, we had the big reveal, the big, oh my gosh, now we'll see exactly where it goes to with the story. Really curious to see what happens with this orphan girl from Iraq and how that affects our main character. And this is a wonderful cover by Tyler Cook. Tyler Cook's art's growing on me more and more. When he worked on the PRD, I was not a big fan. But yeah, this horror where he gets to color his own stuff like this one, it's getting better. The noses aren't quite such an issue for me and stuff like that. So anyway, issue 33 of Abe Sapien. I think we only have 3 more issues left of this. So very interested to see where it goes, how it ends, and all of that. You know, we've got our character here who is, you know, basically sold his soul to hell, and hell doesn't have the power that they thought it was going to. There's this whole other, you know, the stuff that's taken over the earth is the main evil power, and so how is hell, and how is somebody who sold their soul to hell thinking that when the end came, it was going to be hell that would take over, and that he would have a good place, you know, in the hierarchy of hell. Now that's not happening. What's he going to do? What's his play? So, pretty cool about that. And how does it all tie into Abe himself? So, American Monster. This is issue number 3. It seemed like it was a long time between issue 3 and 2. This is a Brian Arozio and John Doe book having to do with, 100% sure, small town. Iraqi vet has come back. The Iraqi vet has been severely mutilated and burned. So he's quite the ugly individual as far as physical looks go. He seems to kind of be controlling things, like maybe he's going to take over the criminal element power base that's there. Is it personal? We don't know that yet. There's some interesting side characters in this. The daughter of the kind of cartel that's working this town clearly has a bunch of issues and stuff, and so I'm curious how that all plays out. The head mobster dog has just been murdered, and in some ways, I guess stereotypical maybe in the fact he's a big tough badass but except for when it comes to his dog, and then with his dog he's kind of crushed and brought to tears. So curious to see what happens next with that. Uncanny Inhumans. This is issue number 8. Possibly the end of this for me. I'm not I think have still been ordering it because I'm curious about this story between Johnny Storm and Medusa. It says right there, all new story starts here. The Torch and the Queen starts now. Curious about all that. The dynamics there with Johnny Storm, I think, actually having been married to Crystal, who is Medusa's sister. How that's all going to play out in here, I'm curious about that. But the last arc with Black Bolt and the quiet room, like, speakeasy bar that he's running, that was not good, in my opinion. And the way it ended, it I don't know, it was just kind of dumb. I don't see what the point was. Other than it potentially sets up something with Black Bolt and Medusa's son. But it was like, I don't know, 4 issues of stuff to set that up that I don't feel like we needed. There should have been an easier way or smarter way to do that. It was more interesting. Anyway, but looking forward to seeing what this whole dynamic's going to be like. What that ends up panning out for is going to be pretty interesting. Issue number 5 of Swamp Thing. One more issue after this. Like the art by Jones, the story by Wynn is very old school, and not really appreciating most of that aspect of the story. But the art's pretty cool. One more issue of that. Something I'm super excited to be getting, probably be at the top of my list to read. This is The Vision. This is issue number 7. Super amazing comic book up until this point. I think we're going to kind of change with the way the last issue ended. Going into this one, it may change up this second half. We'll see exactly how that plays out. Things only going to issue 12, so really curious to see how it all works, but gorgeous cover. Man, that is a cool cover. So we're going to explore or get to see some of the relationship between Scarlet Witch, it looks like, and the Vision. I don't know if we're going to go back in the past and see what it is, if she's going to suddenly show up and there's going to be something there, because, the Vision has his own, has his own wife now and stuff. So really curious to see how that is. Brilliant, brilliant book up until this point. Highly recommended. And here we are on the road to the Civil War 2, the Ultimates number 7, and all the regular people back on the book. I don't know how much longer I am for this book. I just keep hanging on to it because I like the characters that are in it. But I don't know, story-wise, don't know that it's got me that enthralled. But we'll see. I'll read this one and start making some decisions. My comic books have gotten kind of out of control as far as new comics go. I am now getting basically about 20-plus books every week, instead of just having the 1 week that was heavy and then smaller weeks kind of thing, and it's becoming a challenge to get it read. And at some point, budgetary issues are going to start running into place too, I think, at this rate. I know I have a massive amount of DC books coming because, of course, I'm going to buy a bunch of those DC, the Rebirth stuff because I get them on a sale. So I'll be partaking in a lot of that. And I got to start making some choices as to what I'm not going to pick up. Originally, I thought a lot of it was going to be taken care of as these DC titles disappear. And my original plan was, I'm only picking up a few DC of the new DC books. So problem would be solved. Well, now with the discount comic book deal and getting all the books at 50% off, if I buy them in a bundle, I'm getting them all now. So now it's going to be interesting. But as a lot of these Marvel books, to be quite honest, start rolling into the Civil War stuff, I have no interest in the Civil War. I don't want to partake in any of their events. So I'll be having to make the decision with what books do I keep and just ride out the storm that's going to be Civil War and how it disrupts what I want to read, versus what are the books that I just drop and quit getting altogether. I think some of them are being dropped for me. Like I said, the Illuminati book, for instance, I think it's going away. I did not see an order for it coming up. I didn't see an order for Weird World the last time I ordered books also. So some of the books are being trimmed for me. But anyway, that's it. That's my new comics. I'm going to go read comic books now, and I will see you all on Saturday, and you can probably hear me talk about some of these comic books. All right, thanks for watching.